And hopefully now with Hagar, we can hear some final words. And I apologize, time is creeping away. So if we can keep it more or less to 5 or 6 minutes. Hagar is from the Maat for Peace Foundation and is also one of our focal points in the NGO Major Group, has a wide experience across a number of African countries. Hagar, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Ali, and thank you to all the honorable speakers who presented very valuable information about the education in light of COVID. And please allow me to tackle the same topic, education in light of COVID, but from another angle, from a human rights angle. As mentioned, the current situation is that many countries have decided to close schools, colleges, and universities in an attempt to control the spread of coronavirus. But did they know the severe impact of this decision? Well, no, I don't think so. Actually, no one did. But actually, now it appears that these decisions will not be a short-term issue, but can also have a long-term consequences and are likely to increase inequality. So looking at the wider picture, we will see that the COVID effect on education is not only considered as a challenge for SDG 4, but for all 17 SDGs, meaning that it will affect the implementation of the whole 2030 agenda. And if you're asking me how, let me give you some brief examples. We will see the obvious effect, the challenges to target 4.1, which is access to free education. We are talking about challenges on moving education online, but how about minorities, students with disabilities, refugees, those who do not have access to internet and do not obtain electronic devices as mentioned? Those were and are still left behind. How about the vocational education? The vocational education, by definition, is education that prepares people to work as technicians or take up employment in a skilled craft or trade. How will they manage to get a proper education and training in light of distance learning? Almost 2 years and we still don't know. Moving to the impact of COVID on education on other SDGs. As an example, impacts on target 8.7. Well, children dropping out of school after the pandemic motivated the families to send them to work. After COVID-19, there was a rise by nearly 28% of children aged from 5 to 11 years and 35% of children aged from 12 to 14 years in child labor because of school closures. Of course, when we talk about extra challenges, we mean extra challenges are on females. The pandemic's negative effects gave families a stronger push to accept the early marriages of their girls, which means challenges to target 5.3. The UNICEF stated that 10 million additional girls are at risk of child marriage due to COVID-19, meaning that we do have extra 10 million girls deprived from education. And last but not least, the most dangerous one from my own point of view is child recruitment by terrorist groups. In December 2020, which means a couple of months after the breakout of the pandemic, the UK Counter-Terrorism Referral Unit saw a 7% rise in the volume of terrorist content online that is directed to teenagers. Do you know why? It is because it's their perfect chance to target youth who now have lots of free time after they were always busy by education and exams and school activities. So this is considered as a challenge to target 16.2 and many other examples. So if you're asking me what should we do in order to protect our future from the post-pandemic effects, my answer will be putting education on the top of the list. Education is the key for achieving Agenda 2030 and for leaving no one behind. If I can give quick recommendations, I will give just 3. The first one is implement learning recovery programs. governments must ensure that students who have fallen behind receive the support that they need to catch up to expected learning targets. Number two, protect the education budget. To help the most vulnerable students, government should prioritize the directing much of the funds and resources to support schools delivering remote instructions, and particularly if those schools are serving high poverty and high minority populations. And finally, to prepare for future shocks. Well, it's vital that we not only recover from the pandemic, but that we use this experience to become better prepared for future crises. Schools should be better prepared to switch easily between face-to-face and remote learning as needed. Teachers need to be better equipped to manage a wide range of IT devices in the event of future school closures. I know we're running all out of time, but if I can say one final sentence, I will say that the education is the core of the agenda, and any effects on this sector will leave a print in all other sectors. Ollie, I'm back to you.
Thank you so much, Hagar. And I think again you've captured it so well, and you've brought a different dimension there in terms of the potential impacts in terms of the wider development of young people. I think it's extremely strong, and we've had such an amazing panel, and we are running out of time, so I want to make